Hey, what's up, guys? It's MugenLord here, and today we're going to talk about Sony and Naughty Dog, because apparently Naughty Dog is supposed to be releasing a remaster of The Last of Us 2, and it got some Sony fans scratching their heads and debating about, why is this even a thing? So I wanted to give you just my thoughts and opinions on it. So before we dive on into this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So, okay. We're going to dive into it because I think this is pretty interesting. This is something I also wanted to bring up when it comes to this generation of gaming, more specifically with the PS5. Now, Naughty Dog had rumors has been going around, has been surfacing that Naughty Dog is supposed to be doing a remaster of The Last of Us 2. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't really care for Last of Us 1 or 2. More specifically, don't give a fuck about Last of Us 2, especially the direction they decided to go with it, and a lot of things that really irked me, especially with the character Abby and more other things that's in that game. But I still will give credit where it's due. It still has beautiful graphics. It still has storytelling that some games still haven't really achieved or accomplished in gaming today. And I give credit where it's due when it comes to that. But for the fact is that the game already looked good, especially closing out the PS4. Is pretty much one of the last PS4 games of that time, especially for Naughty Dog themselves before they cross over to PS5. To see what the PS4 is able to be capable of producing, that's an incredible feat. So why in the hell do we need a remaster of The Last of Us 2? So we're going to go into this article from VG Charts and a couple other sites that also covered this as well, because there's a thing to where they believe that there was a mistake, or there was developers had accidentally revealed that is in fact coming. So it says The Last of Us Part 2 remaster spotted on developers LinkedIn news. So it says Naughty Dog released a remastered version of 2013, and that's another thing that I wanted to talk about too. That when it came to Last of Us, they gave us a remaster of that. That's why this is not far-fetched at all. They have a history of this for the PS5. And then The Last of Us Part 1 remake. Remember, they also remade it too, which I also found baffling. That game did not need to be remade, but here we are, they've done it. Now, a mention of Last of Us 2 Part 2 remaster has been spotted on a LinkedIn profile of Naughty Dog's developer, Mark, responsible for overseeing the production of all outsourced environment art assets, weapons, and interactive props for two iconic titles, The Last of Us Part 1 and The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. So in the LinkedIn profile, it says, has since changed to remove mentions of the remastered. See? So somebody slipped up. Somebody probably had got that call from Sony or Naughty Dog themselves, like, yo, bro, what the hell are you doing? So this isn't the first time, which we said before. This isn't the first time that they have done something like this, and also it wasn't the first time that this haven't been mentioned before as far as a remaster of Part 2, because the composer for the game, Gustavo, in July revealed an enhanced version of the game is currently in the works. So Santa Tola said this new version of The Last of Us 2 would let players be able to make him play certain songs. He added he was not allowed to reveal any other information. So this is not far-fetched. And then of course Naughty Dog, again, it says accidentally confirms The Last of Us 2 remaster. More evidence resurfaced that a remaster of Last of Us 2 is in fact incoming. So we keep seeing these different rumors that this is going on with the game, and the game is also being outsourced. And he said calling it a remaster instead of calling it a director's cut does seem to imply that any changes to the game are likely going to be minimal, and that is probably just a graphical update of some kind. That's likely to be a controversial decision, as not only The Last of Us Part 2 already one of the biggest best looking games out there, but it also received an update when the PS5 launched, and it runs at 60 frames. See, I didn't know that because I don't own Part 2 at all. So the game, not only that, when you put it in the PS5, it already runs at 60 frames. So what's the point of remastering it? The game already looked good, and then now you add the 60 frames to it once you put it into the PS5. All I see is cash grab. All I see here is milk. All right, it's not clear what exactly about the game needs to be remastered, but I'm sure we're all going to have fun hearing about it over the next few months. So, man, like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, and this is why I want to talk about what Sony and the PS5 for this generation. Now, we always rag on Microsoft, and as we should be critical of Microsoft as far as Microsoft not really putting out any exclusives or actual games that will draw people to the consoles, especially when they putting the games day and date on PC and the Xbox Series X and S console in itself, and that pretty much discouraged more people to go grab it for the console when there's a PC version available. And like I said, then you have the other side that always uplift and praise Sony, that Sony got the exclusives, Sony has a better catalog of games. But if he was just to relegate it to this generation, Sony don't really have much either. Yes, you have your Spider-Mans. Yes, you have your God of War, your Ratchet and Clank, your Returnals, and stuff like that. But most of the games, for me personally, I didn't care about God of War. Never bothered to buy that game. That's another just a movie that you just playing with your interactive movie that you're playing. Then of course you have Horizon Forbidden West. Didn't care. I had the first game on the PS4. Got bored of that game, so I had no reason to go buy that one. And then of course, we just talked about just now, we have the Insomniac Spider-Man games. I didn't care about that. So I'm very, like, my taste is very different. I'm very picky when it comes to certain things, when it comes to games. But when you look at the overall map, or from the past 3 years since these consoles has been around, going almost 4 years, Sony really doesn't have anything as well. I mean, yes, they're faring a lot better by selling consoles and do having some of these games, but they're not really well off than Microsoft as well when it comes to selection in games. And people started making the joke as far as Sony, just especially more so specifically Naughty Dog, like this generation, you're starting to see a lot of remasters. We had got the remasters for the first Spider-Man Insomniac games that crossed over. Then we got a remaster of The Last of Us of Part 1, and then we got a remake of The Last of Us Part 1, and now we're talking about another remaster, but this time for The Last of Us 2, and there's many more to come when it comes to that. And I can see where people are coming from when it comes to this. Like, what is going on, especially with this generation? Like, we're 3 years in and we still haven't seen games that really push these consoles, whether it's Xbox or the PS5. And we're always really seeing so far, or a lot of it and most of it is cross-generation games that is from PS4 and the PS5 era. We haven't really stepped our toes in to really push the envelope of these consoles to the point where, hey, you can't get this on PS4 or you can't get this on Xbox One. You can only get this experience on the PS5, and it's not enough of those games, and we're only 3 years in, and all we've been seeing is just sprinkle of different titles or whatever, and we get a lot of remasters and remakes. And I actually see an issue, and it just let me know like where we at as far as gaming is concerned when it comes to AAA experiences and everything. And then what also is quite disturbing, or I would say when it comes to Sony, is that there's also a rumor that we may be getting a Horizon Zero Dawn remake as well. It says Horizon Zero Dawn. This is from True Trophies. Horizon Zero Dawn PS5 remake is happening, sources reconfirmed. And it says Horizon Zero Dawn is seemingly set for a PS5 remake or remaster of some kind, much like The Last of Us Part 1. One source has reiterated that it's happening for the second time through PlayStation Studios will keep it easy. So Horizon Zero Dawn is a wonderful PS4 game from the PlayStation Studios Guerrilla Games. However, despite having only been released in 2017, guys, 2017, it wasn't that long ago. Horizon Zero Dawn PS5 remake or remaster has been reiterated to be happening by Colin Moriarty. While it might be the best PS4 games, a re-release this early after launch might strike some as premature. And that's what's been going on with Sony. Like, if anybody who says that they don't think a Horizon Zero Dawn remake is not in the cards, that they don't see that it's happening, is naive or just plain ignorant. I cannot stress that I can see them doing this. And the reason why they can do this, because they know you guys are going to eat this shit up. You guys are going to consume it. Your guys are going to complain about it. You guys are not going to like it. But when they announce it, you guys are going to go out and buy that game.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next product.
I'm telling you right now, and they're going to get away with it. They're going to be able to remaster and remake Horizon Zero Dawn, and you guys are going to complain about it, but you guys are going to go on Twitter and talk about how beautiful the game is and how awesome the game is. And I wouldn't be surprised they cut features from it, or they do something to it, and then you get less, but you'll still buy it and still play it. And the same thing with The Last of Us 2 remaster that's coming. Like, seriously, the game is still fresh. The game is still new. The game is still gorgeous looking, and then you put it in your PS5 at 60 frames per second. What is there to upgrade to this? But Naughty Dog and Sony know that you PS5 guys are going to still go out there and consume this shit. And they will get away with this. They will put this out there, and you guys are going to praise this game. You're going to praise this remaster, and you guys are going to eat it up, because this is, you're going to use this as ammunition to talk about how great Sony is, and to also stick it to the Xbox guys. And then Sony and Naughty Dog won. And then they're going to go back and start remastering other games. And I'm going to laugh at this. This is hilarious. But that pretty much wraps up this video. There's really not much more I can really stress about this. It's like Sony is just remastering, remaking current titles, and you guys are just scoffing it up. You guys are just eating all this up. So this is going to be an interesting generation. I can't wait to see what else they're going to remaster and remake from not too long ago, and see where you guys are, and whether or not you guys are going to support it, and they can continue to milk you guys. But that pretty much wraps up this video. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button, that notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. This is MugenLord, signing off. I'll see you game fiends later. Peace out.